So a few months ago I started to work on some Olympic lifting, and I started off with cleans, and this video was shot a few weeks ago and I just haven't had a chance to upload it yet, but I actually have been doing my drills and practicing a little bit differently since this video was recorded, with more of a hip thrust movement and less of a jumping movement. So when I started off, I did a lot of jumping, and then one of my friends showed me how to incorporate more hip movement into it, and also how to do some drills and some exercises that will help me with this lift. So I've been doing a different type of grip for my deadlifts too, in the hopes of getting that beginning motion of this Olympic lift a little bit stronger. So tonight in meditation class we practiced some exercises. Some were very simple. We started off with just closing our eyes and just repeating a phrase, and it was "I am the heart," and it was focusing on the heart, things that make us human, the heart, where our feelings are, where our emotions are, because we spend so much of the time in our brains. We spend a lot of time stuck in our minds, and sometimes that can be counterproductive. So when lifting, I feel like I incorporate more of my body together than I do in other aspects of life. So I definitely use my body, use my mind, and I also use my feelings sometimes. I don't train emotionally all the time, but sometimes I'll let some emotions in. If it's a particularly good day or kind of a rough day, sometimes those emotions do play a role. Not always though. And what I realized was the meditation exercises sound simple, but they are actually quite difficult. At one point we were just picking a flower on a vase. We had a vase of flowers right in front of us. This was a room of about 30 people, and we could each pick a point to focus on. And I picked a bud of a daffodil or something yellow. I wanted to pick the bud because it was something that hadn't bloomed yet. And I found myself, my mind wandering off multiple times, and every time I would kind of chastise myself, like, that was only 5 seconds. How am I already thinking about something else? And so that exercise seemed really simple, yet it was pretty challenging. And same with lifting. So whether it's a new lift or you're just trying to improve on a previous lift, it can seem kind of challenging at first, but it really just takes practice. So with practice, you really will make progress, and that's something I've been doing with my Olympic lifts. Is it's not something where I just tried it and the first couple times were kind of discouraging. It bothered my shoulder, it tweaked my shoulder, and I was also thinking, well, this isn't something I need to compete, it's just something I want to try. But I looked into it more, and I've been practicing before most of my leg days, and again this video was a few weeks ago, so I have been getting a little bit more fluid, and no weight on the bar yet, but that will come with time, and I really am just trying to get the technique down. So same thing applies to all other aspects of life. It's really about the practice, and just like with going to the gym, some days you gotta give yourself credit for showing up. At least if you show up and you make it a habit. If going to the gym isn't something that's instilled in you as a habit yet, or if it takes some motivation to get you to go to the gym, if you show up, you're winning just by showing up. And with meditation, even if you're sitting down quietly and your brain, your mind wanders off, or even if you can't meditate for 20 minutes at a time, or even if you have a hard time meditating just 5 minutes every day, if you just sit down, you set aside that time, at least you are creating a habit, and that's something that will last.